Mastering English modal verbs through role play and simulations. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we are diving deep into the wonderful world of English modal verbs and how they help us express advice. Modal verbs are a powerful tool in the English language, and they can really level up your communication skills. In this video, we are going to use role plays and simulations to better understand the practical application of giving and asking for advice using these verbs. Before we dive into our role plays and simulations, let's quickly recap on which modal verbs we use when we're giving or asking for advice. Remember that we use should, ought to, had better, and sometimes could when giving advice. When we're asking for advice, we often use phrases like, "What should I do?" or "What do you think I ought to do?" For example, "You should apply for that job." "You ought to call your mother." "You had better study for the exam." "Could I possibly borrow your pen?" And when we're asking for advice, "What should I do about my noisy neighbor?" "What do you think I ought to do about my lost passport?" Role play is a fantastic way to practice English. It allows us to simulate real-life scenarios and experiment with different ways of expressing ourselves. Let's look at two scenarios, a professional one and a personal one. 1. Professional scenario, job interview. Interviewer: "What do you think I should look for in a candidate?" Candidate: "I believe you should look for someone who is dedicated, team-oriented, and eager to learn." 2. Personal scenario, discussing a friend's problem. Friend 1: "What should I do about my car? It's old and constantly breaking down." Friend 2: "You should consider buying a new one, if you can afford it. Otherwise, perhaps you could find a reliable mechanic." Simulations are similar to role plays, but they are usually a bit more complex and involve a more detailed setup. This time, let's simulate a parent-teacher meeting and a discussion with a doctor. 1. Simulation 1, Parent-Teacher Meeting. Parent: "What should we do to improve our child's math grade?" Teacher: "You could help your child with their homework or consider hiring a tutor." 2. Simulation 2, Discussion with a doctor. Patient: "What do you think I ought to do about my frequent headaches?" Doctor: "You should try to reduce stress and drink plenty of water. However, you had better see a specialist if it continues." That brings us to the end of our video. I hope these role plays and simulations have shown you how modal verbs can be effectively used in real-life situations for giving and asking advice. Remember, practice makes perfect, so don't shy away from trying out these scenarios in your own conversations. Until next time, keep practicing, and keep learning.